everyone. Hope you're all doing really well. I'm great. I've actually been sewing a lot. I've got heaps to show you, lots of brand new makes. They will be coming up as soon as I can get photographed. I'm actually getting my hair done tomorrow. My friend's coming over to do this regrowth of mine, so I actually haven't done much to my hair today, so excuse me for the frizziness, but I'm sure you all won't mind, because you know what it's like when it's really hot out there. It's 32 today, and the last thing you feel like doing is straightening and blow drying and curling the hair in front of the mirror. So yeah, I'm just taking it easy today. There's a few things I want to let you know about. A couple of new vloggers on YouTube I think you're going to really love that I've just found recently. I love being told about new vlogs to watch because I love sitting down with a cuppa and I get a bit of spare time seeing any new vloggers that are out there and what kind of content they're coming up with. So there's some really exciting things happening on YouTube. Now, I've just noticed this morning there is a sale happening over on the Fabric Store online, which is We Are the Fabric Store. I love looking on there. They have a lot of beautiful fabrics. They're having 20 to 40% off the whole store. So I think that it might exclude sale, but there's quite a lot of lovely fabrics, and I'm always really drawn to the Liberty fabrics because they are really pricey. So if you can get them on sale, it's a really good time to purchase. And I'm thinking about making another cami, the low-key cami from Pattern Emporium, because it's so hot here. They're really nice and cool to wear, little strappy kind of camisole with some loose pants. But I actually love the Liberty fabric. I've seen some beautiful lawn and also some crepe de chine on there I'm eyeing off. So the great thing about that low-key cami is it only takes a meter, so you don't need much to make yourself a beautiful top. Now you'll notice that I have a dress on. I've already shown you this ruby dress made from that beautiful Japanese cotton from Cloth Edit. I've been wearing this to death because the lovely cutout sleeve, it's so nice and cool. This gorgeous Japanese cotton's lovely and light. And it's about all you feel like wearing when it's really warm. It's breathable, and it's just, yeah, it's a gorgeous little dress. I'm really happy with how it's come up. So I'm looking at some more simple things to make. What's on the sewing table today? Well, I'm actually in the process of making a dress. I have got a new make behind me that you probably can see in the distance. Haven't photographed it yet, but it's made with that beautiful Cloth Edit linen silk. It's called the Impression Lakeside print. So I can't wait to show you how it's come up. It's kind of a hack of a couple of patterns together, but that will be coming up on an episode very shortly. So I'm really excited to show you that. There's a couple of other makes that I've made I'm going to be showing you in the next week or so as well. But today I'm actually in the process of sewing up some of this beautiful rayon that was from Spotlight. It's the Indigenous print. I think it's called Water Dreaming, for Spotlight. So that's one of those prints that I've been meaning to make up, and I've got a dress that I've had for quite some time. I made one many years ago. I made it, you know, when you first start sewing and you make all those wrong fabric choices. I made it in a voile and I lined it, and I made the bodice too tight and I kind of destroyed it. So I put it away, hadn't looked at it for quite a long time, and I thought I'll get it out again, have another go at it, because I think this rayon will be beautiful. It's the Celestial dress from Pattern Fantastique, and you may remember the Pattern Fantastique blouse that I love, which is the Varley blouse. I want to make a dress length in that as well. So this is the same pattern designer. Celestial dress is great because it's got a couple of hacks you can get separately and add to the dress, so then you can come up with like 3 different versions of that dress. So you can get the cutout sleeve that makes almost like a pinny kind of cutout sleeve shape. The pinny's like more of a squarish kind of cutout sleeve. The one I'm making has got kind of like the yoke and the cap sleeves, but you can also get like a beautiful billowy kind of bishop's shaped sleeve to add onto that as well. So there's quite a few hacks. And I think they're great because you can make them in a blouse as well as the dress. So it also comes with a belt, because I know that kind of empire line shape can be sometimes a little bit on the unflattering side if you don't, like personally for me, if I don't give enough waist definition and shape, I can feel a bit that maternity style. And I think after being pregnant having, been pregnant 4 times. We've got 5 kids. We've got twins in there. So only 4 times I've been pregnant, but that's enough. I really do not want to look pregnant again. I think after wearing those kind of smock things, it brings back memories of having that same outfit we wore over and over again. And I don't know if you have those memories as well, but nowadays, a lot of the new mums tend to be wearing just everyday clothes. They get away with things that are more form-fitting. I don't think anyone really worries about going out and buying maternity clothes anymore. It's maybe not a thing, but there's so much choice, and I really wished I had been sewing back in those days more and made my own maternity garments, because they were very pricey from memory and not the nicest clothing around to be living in for all that time. So I'm really excited to make this dress. I wanted something cool and floaty, especially I've just, I started taking up a little bit of exercise again just recently. And because it's so hot, I get out the shower and I'm just really hot. It's probably that time of life as well. But I think that having nice, cool, floaty things is what I'm reaching for. And I really love the fact that you can layer this dress as well. So hopefully it's going to turn out a lot nicer than the last disaster I made. And yes, I have had a lot of disasters in the past. I think that I even look back through my wardrobe now and see things that I might have made a year or 2 ago. And I thought, why would I have chosen that fabric? What was I thinking when I picked that? So you do change. You kind of get better at knowing what you want and what your personal style is, and also what goes with patterns. And that's one of my favorite things to do, is choose fabric for patterns. I just love matching them up. So I probably would think about doing an episode on that one day, maybe show you guys what I do when I look at a pattern and how I envisage a fabric to go with it. So that could be coming up in the future. But speaking of fabric, I have just sorted out my fabric stash. It was a disaster over Christmas. I was, frantically throwing things in left, right, and centre. There's a few things, a lot of big bag of scraps that I had to get rid of, that I just thought there's no longer any use to keep a lot of things. And when you get in a bit of a mess, and I just thought I really need to sort that out. So I actually went to Spotlight a few weeks back to get some fabric, and the lovely lady there that works there gave me some of those cardboard kind of flat pieces there that they wrap their fabrics in, and I cut them up and put my beautiful fabrics, the ones that I love the most, wrap them around to sort of showcase them even better. I know a lot of people do that with quilting cottons as well, so they can find them and see them, but some people use corrugated cardboard. I think that could be a great idea as well, but I really need to go through and do the rest of the stash just so I can see, because I'm really happy with how it's come up. So I'll give you guys a bit of a look at what I did. Now this is the final result of my organising my fabrics into kind of colours and categories. I've got some solids there. You can see that the solids, there's not a lot of them. There's a lot of patterns. I actually got some cardboard bolster things from Spotlight that they were throwing away, just those kind of thick cardboard things you wrap around your fabric. It makes such a difference to seeing the prints and not losing the prints. So I need to get more of those. I think some people use corrugated cardboard too, which would be good. So they're all my nice Lady McElroy lawns, some Nerida Hanson, and some nice cloth edit cotton silks. And we've got more Lady McElroys there. So I've got all my nice ones folded up really well, so I can see. Got a bit of printed cotton linen there. And these are getting more into my, I would say, autumnal and winter colourway. Lots of black. And then we've got some rayons there that are ready to sew up some summer dresses, some more knits, a lot of ITY and jersey knits. These are all knits as well. These are all my cotton jerseys. And down the bottom I've got some coating, some winter coating, all ready for the next couple of seasons. Some scuba crepes, more heavyweight knits. And these are kind of oddbods, which I don't know quite what to do with. Some cotton sateen, so some heavier kind of fabrics, a bit of cotton interlock there as well. So I'm quite happy with how it's come up. I really don't need any more fabric. You can see that's about all that can handle. Maybe it could handle a couple of more pieces, but I don't want it to be
all consuming.
I actually went to Kmart with my daughter last week and she wanted to buy a couple of those little lockers to store some things in. So I bought myself one of those as well to put my knickknacks in. I'll show you that too.
Another thing I did get this week was a little locker from Kmart. And this is really good for fitting underneath a sewing desk. I think it was like $39. It's just a tin old-fashioned locker with a key on it. And great for putting things like button tins and knickknacks in as well. So I wouldn't mind actually getting a couple more to fit underneath that desk space so they don't get in the way. You can still sit under there quite nicely. So yeah, just done a bit of organising for some sewing.
Now, this machine I got from a buy, swap and sell, and when I went to the house, there was a guy about maybe in his 50s, and he was selling his mum and dad's house because both his parents had passed away over the last few years, and he was doing that final clear out. And I bought the machine. It's a gorgeous little faff. It was like brand new, fantastic machine. This is a little booklet that it came with. And she had a little sewing cupboard full of all sorts of goodies. There was things like bias tape and scissors and needles and all sorts of things. Some things had never been open. It was like a little treasure trove. I was also quite sad kind of going through someone's collection, just seeing what they collected over the years. And obviously it meant a lot to her. So I'm kind of feel good that it's gone to someone that will really enjoy and use those things, because the thought of all that kind of collection being thrown away, it would be heartbreaking. So I'm very, very happy to be taking all those goodies on and using a lot of them too. So this is one of the books that came with the little faff machine. It's got some really interesting little tidbits and hints and tips. You know, when you go through an instruction booklet that's that old and you find things like little sticky notes that people have written in. I'm going to grab my glasses because it's hard to read. It's almost like you're reading someone's diary or their little notes. She's just written things like the overlocking stitch, what setting she's had and what not to forget to do certain things. There's another little note in here. What size needle to have for a loose synthetic material. It's really, really lovely to be looking through and seeing that. But yeah, it's got all the different buttons and guides and what stitches they could do. So it's a little gem of a machine. It's a Pfaff Tip-O-Matic machine, and it's actually one of their really popular machines. I think it may have been early 80s. She's written here, don't forget to blind stitch foot. The whole edge of the edge guide is to be over the edge of the folded fabric. She's just written what buttons to press, and it was just really nice looking through here and seeing bits of information. But I love looking through all those kind of retro books. She also had some pattern books. This is a family t-shirt pattern. It looks like that would be late 70s, early 80s by the look of it, but still all the pattern pieces are there and instructions as well. I love looking through this Quick Sew magazine, which has still got all the patterns in there as well. Some of these things would be just really fashionable today to wear, and a lot of the things that I've noticed in here, definitely I'm thinking late 80s, maybe early 90s. I can remember working in Suzanne when we had colour blocked blouses like that with the big huge shoulder pads, and I think mine had red, black and white. You have different colour sleeves, but it's funny because all that's come back in against, maybe not the shoulder pads that big, but things like the little jumpsuits come back in again. This it's got quite a lot of really nice little patterns, and it's got a lot of fitting information about fabrics, different guides to sewing collars. So I'll just show you guys a bit of a look through here, what we've got. It's in more colour blocking, lots of little short sets. But applique, check out that jumpsuit. So these are the kind of treasures that you can sometimes find when you look through op shops or thrift stores. Things that people may be, disposing of, getting rid of that they don't want. And they're the kind of little treasures. I just think it's just so nice to take a trip down memory lane and be looking at all of that. But all the patterns are in the back and they're not even cut up. So that was great. Little shirt dresses, but that was great to have a look through. A bit nostalgic. And this is another little machine. I had a retro machine that I bought for something like $20 on Buy Swap and Sell, Brother machine. And I just noticed that the past owner has written all sorts of information, things to remind her of what to do, like upper collar always to be on top when the garment is made. So when you have your upper and your lower collar. She's written about tabs, how to cut the tabs larger than the pattern says, half an inch bigger, how different fabric sews up, things that she's tried to remember for her machine, how to get it to sew better. So yeah, that's really interesting information. I just love looking through old instructional guides like that. So yeah, different things I've been doing. So organising fabrics, organising patterns. Made a few things that you haven't seen yet. So really excited to show you that. There's a couple of new YouTubes I think you guys are really going to love because I've enjoyed going back and binging a few of the episodes. I haven't got a lot of episodes, so it won't take long to go back to the start. Couple of these new YouTubers I think you're really going to enjoy. They come from all parts of the world. There's a brand new YouTuber now her name's Sarah. She has a channel called Sarah Sewed, and she's from Melbourne. So I think it's great. She's a school teacher. She uses a lot of great indie patterns and indie fabrics as well. I've really enjoyed going back and watching all of her past vlogs, seeing what she's made as well. Go ahead and look at Sarah's channel. I think you're going to love what you see. And as I say, great having another Aussie, especially a Melburnian here. So I chatted to her online and told her I loved her channel. So I'm going to link these channels below. So hopefully you guys can go on and subscribe to them. I think it's fantastic when new vloggers are coming out and we can give them support and let them know we're loving their work. Try and build up the subscribers so more people can follow them as well. Another vlogger I'm really enjoying watching is Bri Michelle Made, and Bri lives over in the Netherlands with her child and her partner, and she's from the States originally, and she has got about 5 episodes out. I love what she's made so far. She's a very talented sewer. She's also got a really interesting blog that you can go back and read a bit of the history and how she got into sewing. It's a fascinating tale, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy seeing her episodes as well. So go ahead and look at Bri's channel. It would be great if you could subscribe as well. The other vlogger I am really thoroughly enjoying, there's a lot of do-it-yourself information. I've been binging her episodes, and it's Gwen Stella Made. And she is a Chinese Singaporean. I think she lives in Texas. Don't quote me on that, but I think her episodes are fantastic. I've been looking at the last episode on how to make belts. She's got great do-it-yourself footage there, really easy to follow, and just lovely filming and lovely content there that I think you will enjoy as well. Now before I head off, I'm going to show you a bit around the garden, what I've been cutting. You'll see behind me some beautiful things I've grown, some gorgeous gladioli, and I know that's a really old-fashioned flower. I know my grandma had that in her wedding bouquet back in the 1940s. It was very in vogue to have gladdies in your bridal bouquet back then. And I've always been fascinated looking at her pictures and thinking, I love to grow those. And I must say they were actually as easy to grow as the dahlias are. I have no trouble at all growing dahlias. I love the bright, vivid orangey red. So I'll show you in the garden as well where they're growing and how they've grown. See, the gladdies are really all popping out. I've just picked my first couple for the season. Beautiful colour, vibrant orangey red. And the miniature one is like a lemony cream colour. But all these will open up once I put them in water. And I will show you my other liliums. And the Christmas lily is a little bit late this year, but it's come out looking beautiful. And a lovely follower called Jen Lucas, and Jen actually won a prize back in our 12 Days of Vlogmas episodes. Jen actually sent me a pic of her holding 2 massive Cafe au Latte dahlias that a friend had given her, and they were huge. They were, the actual flower itself was, they're called dinner plate dahlias for a reason, bigger than her head actually. They were huge, and she sent me a pic to show me, and I just asked if I could possibly show those on the channel. She said yep, go ahead, that was fine. But I've actually been growing them myself. I had a couple that I've picked off, and I've got footage to show you of those as well. Mine aren't that big yet, but they are looking magnificent. They're a beautiful dahlia to grow, very hard to get hold of. So when you do go looking for the bulbs or the tubers, I think mine were from Van Diemen's bulbs over in Tassie because everyone else had sold out of them. Hi everyone, thought I'd bring you out the backyard here to show you all my dahlias that have just come out. We had a lot of rain today, so they are looking superb.
So we've got these are ginormous. Actually, they come out really big. That one hasn't even opened fully. You can see the size of it already. And then we've got girls here. This is a gorgeous white decorative variety. Oh, that one's growing through the chook pen there. And then we've got our beautiful cafe au lait that are also blooming. Beautiful blush colour. I'll put some footage in of that too afterwards to show you how they look when they're opened. We've got some cacti variety, gorgeous golden yellow colour. This one here is going to be absolutely beautiful. There's some cockies flying over. I'll see if I can get some footage of them as soon as I do. We've got a big gum tree up there. We seem to get a lot of them at night flying over, but they all hide on me when the camera comes out. So this one here is a really pretty apricot blush colour. It's going to be gorgeous. And we've got another one about to come out, nice pink one, and some more, another cacti variety. And there's some cockatoos flying around. They are very noisy at night time. Also had some corellas, which are kind of like a cockatoo but without the yellow crest. Actually, I think that might be them now. They've got a pink, kind of a blush colour face, and you can see they haven't got the yellow crest, so they're a very noisy lot, those ones. Got some passion fruit growing. These are all my gladdies that are coming up really nicely. The stem of one coming out now, and there goes the corellas again. It's really nice actually at night time. You can see them. They've got a truck over the far paddock there. There's a galah. This is the best time of night to come out and see the bird life. We've also got some beautiful rainbow lorikeets that come and nest in those trees at night. And these are my older dahlias that have been in for quite some years. We just leave them in the ground and they double up every year, get more and more blooms. This is a beautiful little decorative variety. Look at the detail on the petals. Now you can see they're really like full and round. They're almost like a perfect circle when they come out, exactly like a pom-pom. So see where they've got their name. But they come out really, really lovely and big and puffy. So that one always flowers a lot. This is my newest dahlia. It's a cafe au lait, which is a gorgeous creamy coffee colour. It's not quite fully open, but it will open up once I put it in some water. You can see the size of my hand there. It is a huge flower. So far I've had about 3 of these picked off, but you can see the decorative, it's got a little bug there. The decorative type of dahlia, there's decorative and there's cacti variety, there's dinner plate. This is the decorative style with the beautiful shaped petals. Just the formation is gorgeous in that. And this one here is another little white one. You can see next to it the colour. It's a lot more bright white. And that is more of a blush. Other ones I have here. This one is a really huge cacti variety. Can't think of the name of it. It's gone. But you can see just how big the petals get.
Now you'll see I also have Christmas lily or lilium as well in there, and I do know that they are toxic to pets, so I make sure that this vase goes up nice and high and no one can get into it, because I wouldn't want the cats getting into that. But I've also got the creamy kind of yellow colour gladdies, which are a baby style gladdie as well, so loving them. It has been very windy out here in the last couple of days, so I've decided to film inside because that wind can get very distracting. But yeah, it's been really nice pottering around the garden and growing some lovely tomatoes are coming up really nice as well. So heaps to do outside, but I am looking forward to getting stuck into some sewing. And I know a lot of vloggers on the internet at the moment have been putting out their Make 9 challenge. I am not a huge planner. I think you probably know by now that I do change my mind quite a bit. I haven't decided whether I'm going to be partaking in this challenge or not, because I don't like to put too much pressure on myself to have things set in stone or in concrete, because I, as I say, like to change my mind. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm making next week, let alone the next 9 sews in advance. And I know for a fact that I am too changeable, and that I feel that if I make too much of a strict set out plan, it can take away from any creative urge that I might have. And sometimes I can be swayed more by fabric than by a pattern. So it's a real kind of not sure situation whether I want to put too much into planning, especially for 9 garments in advance. And I always have to take my hat off to people that can build these wonderful collections, and they'll have pieces that all intermingle and match with each other, because I just find that that is such a hard thing to do, because I don't always know what I want to make. Sometimes the shiny new patterns can come out and be very distracting as well, and I'll just think, aha, I've got a perfect fabric for that, I'm going to make that. So yeah, a fabric is a big thing for me, whether it's the fabric that whether it leads me into the pattern, or the pattern that leads me into the fabric. So I don't like to have too much planned out there, because as I say, it takes away from that kind of creative feeling I might get. And sometimes I'll make things on a whim, and I'll just suddenly think, I want to make this and I want to use that fabric, or I'm feeling really hot and I haven't got enough cool strappy things, and that's what I'll do. So yeah, it's hard because I don't want to take away from that. I do love watching planning videos, and I do sit and watch and think it does give me a lot of ideas as well. So I'm kind of in 2 minds about that. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you would like to see me come out with more planning videos, let me know, because I know a lot of people do like watching those. But I also think it's just great to have a bit of inspiration sometimes on just seeing new patterns or different patterns, or maybe going through the stash and finding things that you've had sitting there that you haven't made, that you do have the ambition to make. And I know that there is one pattern that I think Bri Michelle Made. She made the Tamsin dress by hand London, and I have had that pattern in my stash for a long time, and thoughts on it, not sure whether to make it or not. And just after seeing her beautiful versions, just stunning, I am now inspired to go ahead and sew that myself, because it just goes to show by seeing it on the body sometimes rather than on a pattern envelope or on a model, can really be what wins you over and changes your mind about a pattern. So yeah, lots of things going on in here. Yeah, lots of decisions to make, but no pressure. I don't like putting pressure on myself. A lot of people have also done things like sewing resolutions, New Year's resolutions. I find that is too limiting, and I really would rather just, maybe surprise you guys with videos that are coming out and new ideas here and there, and different makes that maybe you have no idea I've been making as well, because it's nice to have a bit of a surprise element on the channel as well. So I'd love to hear yours as well. Do you make New Year's resolutions? Have you stuck to them in the past? Do you find that they're too limiting? I know with things like healthy eating and exercise, as soon as you deny yourself something, you'll want it even more and you'll crave it even more. So I think whether it be limiting anything, whether it's a fabric ban or maybe cutting out a whole food group, as soon as you do that, it kind of makes you want it even more. So I try not to do that. But I have been trying to be good and not buy too much fabric, because I do have a beautiful little stash of fabrics that I need to get through as well, that will last me well on into the year, if not into the next few years. But I think that rather than go ahead and buy too much more now for summer, I would rather focus and wait for things that I might want to make for autumn and winter. But yeah, heaps of stuff to sew still for summer, and lots of new makes coming your way. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, I would love it if you could do that, because I'm heading towards 15k subscribers. It's not far away. Really, really exciting little number to get towards, as well as by the time this comes out, I would have clicked over to 5,000 followers over on Instagram too. So if you haven't followed me over on Instagram, it's a great way to keep in contact, seeing what I'm up to. Just seeing what I'm making for the day, and also maybe it might give you guys a bit of inspiration to get sewing as well. And I also have a Pinterest board there with all the patterns that I have, and whenever I buy a new pattern, I will add it to my Pinterest board to give you guys a little bit of inspiration as well. Thanks so much for watching. I will be back next week for another video, so hang in there, and lots of new makes and new picks to show you as well. So thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye.